I'm Henna.
And I'm Aanika.
She is a peer tutor at NMSU STEM at Student Support Services.
I tutor in biology, biochemistry, and chemistry. But today we're doing crushing chemistry with Aanika.
So Aanika, I know general chemistry is like 111, 112, 115 and 116, right?
Correct.
And these are like the courses the freshmen take when they come to the NMSU campus. So I know it is one of the first steps you take when you're launching your NMSU STEM educator. So can you tell us more about these courses?
So general chemistry is a large class and has a lab included with your overall grade. This is beneficial because if you have your lab included, it boosts your grade more often than not. It's often used as a weed out class, which I know sounds scary, but it's meant to be challenging to force people to make sure they're cut out for their desired major. That being said, poor grades aren't the best aren't a direct indicator of how you'll do in your overall science major, but it is kind of an important step. Now let's talk about the actual course. General chemistry serves an overview of chemical processes that you will know forever. So this includes mathematical equations to determine chemical values. They're also riddled with chemical concepts such as solubility, stoichiochemistry, acid-base reactions, things like that.
I also know that the organic chemistry, those are the courses that 313, 314 and 315.
Correct.
I know these are the courses after the general chemistry you're going to take, like the second year students that major in chemistry, biochemistry, biology, chemical engineering and other sciences. Pre-health usually take these courses. So what will the students actually learn in this course?
So in this course, they're going to learn about mechanisms, reactions, anything concerning carbon, which is the basis of all organic material. Understanding the material comes slowly, but once it clicks, it becomes really easy, and you can actually do very well in this class. The hardest part is getting to that aha moment, so we're going to try with this video to give you some strategies to get to the aha moment.
What do you think is the best way to approach this course?
The best way to approach this course is definitely to read your syllabus and mark on your calendar when your exams are.
Okay.
The worst thing you can do is let tests sneak up on you. So you wanna study well in advance for these tests. Form a study group, bounce ideas off your friends, do homework together. It helps, it all helps. Also take the SI class, the supplemental instruction classes. The extra practice will keep you focused, it'll keep you from getting lost, so definitely take those SI classes.
Okay, and what do you suggest we're not supposed to do for these courses?
Definitely don't think you can do it by yourself. Use your tutors, use your professors, use all the available resources you have. You're not alone here, especially through STEM age. Don't procrastinate. It's only going to hurt you in the end. Do assignments on time and get them done. Don't limit yourself to just your textbook and your lecture notes. There's a bunch of online resources too. I found that Khan Academy is really great. And ask questions, get as much knowledge on a topic as you can.
I noticed you mentioned the lecture notes, right?
Right.
So what do you think we're supposed to do with the lectures? How do we prepare before the lectures, after the lectures and everything?
That's a great question, Henna. So to prepare for the lecture, I think you should read the chapter before class.
Okay.
It definitely, even if you don't understand what's going on, in class it'll start to click.
Okay.
And have questions prepared if you are confused. The teacher will acknowledge that you're trying, and that's always good. So, and just make sure you're ready to take the notes that are best for you. If, reading out the chapter and saying, okay, the teacher went over this and this, that's fine, but definitely make sure you take notes that work well for how you learn.
Okay. So I do that. I go through the lecture before the lecture notes and everything. What if I find the material difficult? What am I supposed to do then?
Don't stress. Don't stress, especially since you're being proactive. You have time to understand the material. So the more you see it and the more you work through it, it'll become clearer. So just don't stress. Don't take notes before the lecture too.
Okay.
I found that taking notes before the lecture just makes it more confusing.
Okay.
So just read the chapter, say, okay, I kind of understand what's going on, but don't actually take notes.
Okay.
And then don't fall behind on your reading. This still goes with procrastinating, Don't just read one section and then later forget about it, and keep up with your reading for sure.
What do you think am I supposed to do, like, during the lecture? What am I supposed to do?
During the lecture, you have to take notes. Taking notes is so important. No one is too smart not to take notes. So, also, aside from taking notes, make sure you're ready for lecture. Make sure you're not hungry during lecture, so eat a good breakfast. Be on time so you're not flustered walking into the lecture. And mentally prepare yourself to receive new information.
Okay.
So, and then you want to make sure that every day you have a successful lecture period.
Okay.
So that means making sure if you take notes on a tablet that your tablet's charged and it's not going to die in the middle of lecture. And if that happens, make sure you have a backup notebook, backup pencils, pens, things like that, because Murphy's Law, what can go wrong will go wrong. So be prepared. Just make sure you're prepared for lecture every day.
What if I get distracted during the lectures and everything?
Let's not get distracted. Save Facebook, iFunny, Pinterest for later. Like, you're in class to learn, so let's learn during class. Another thing is, don't leave the lecture confused. After class, go up and talk to the teacher. Say, hey, I didn't quite understand this. Could you explain it to me? And another thing is, don't use lecture to recover from missed sleep.
Okay.
Let's not fall asleep in class. With all of this, you're in college to study, and so during class, make it about class. Don't make it about anything else.
What do you think after the class, after the lecture? What will I do? What am I supposed to do?
Okay, so after class, you want to do your homework, even if if the due date's way far away, but this section we went over in class, you understand it, do your homework.
Okay.
And even if it's not assigned, go ahead and do some practice problems, Practice makes perfect, and it's really important to get that repetition so you understand what's going on.
Okay.
So another thing you can do is you can go back to the chapter and also take notes.
Okay.
So remember how I said not to take notes as you're reading it the night before? Well, now you've read it, you've been through lecture, so now it's time to take notes on the chapter and compare those notes to your lecture notes. And then after class, another thing you can do is see your tutor. If you really don't understand something, see your tutor. Or if you just want to clarify something.
What do you want me not to do after the class?
Procrastinate. No procrastination. It's really bad. So, especially the night before a test. Don't try to cram everything in because you procrastinated, you were out partying. Don't do that. You can party, you can have fun in college, but do your work first. So another thing that you shouldn't do after class is assume you already know the material. Yes, you read the chapter, you went to class, but on the test it's going to be more in-depth. So don't assume you know it and therefore you don't have to study. Another thing is don't come to your tutor unprepared. If you read the notes and you looked at the lecture, you should be pretty prepared, but it goes with procrastinating. if you have to read if you didn't read, you should read before you come see your tutor.
I noticed something you said about the test, in-depth knowledge. So how do you propose that I tackle the test?
Tackling the test. The first thing you have to do is begin studying well before this exam. So like I said, the night before, don't try to cram everything in there. You want to give yourself at least a week to start studying.
Okay.
At least a week. Practice problems are really good. Make sure you get the answers of that, though, because practice without knowing if you're right or wrong is pretty useless. So you got to make sure you're right. Make flashcards. You can't memorize everything in chemistry, but to get the basic ideas, it's pretty important. So flashcards help quite a bit. And make sure you take breaks during studying. Sometimes you can cram so much into your head, and then you don't remember any of it. So take breaks, go for a walk. Another thing, see me. I'm your tutor. I can help you. I'm really good with test prep, so come see me a week in advance or so before you have your test.
Okay, that's good to know. So what should I not do during the test?
Stress. Don't stress. Chemistry is a really hard subject, but stressing about it's not going to make it easier. Being prepared will make it easier, but stressing about it is just going to make you lose your hair, and no one needs that in their life. So also don't put yourself in a pressure cooker. So what I mean by that is don't say, okay, I have 2 hours to learn this subject, and because that adds stress. Then you're looking at the time, you're forcing yourself to do these things, and just don't add more pressure than what's necessary. Don't tense up. There's a lot of feeling knots in your neck, and just breathe. It's gonna be okay. The last thing that you shouldn't do is break for longer than you study for. Okay. So if you study for an hour, your break should only be 10 to 15 minutes. If you study for 2 hours, take a half-hour break. But don't study for an hour, then take a 3-hour break. And study for an hour, and just make sure your breaks are not longer than your study periods. That's all I have for our chemistry chit-chat. This was Cracking Chemistry with Aanika.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Bye.